Hi, Julie Rader here, talking about the Aries full moon that we have on October 9th at 1:54 p.m. So almost 2 p.m. Pacific time. This is happening in Aries. That's why it's an Aries full moon, because the moon will be in Aries at the same degree opposing the sun in Libra at 16 degrees 33 minutes. So we can round up to 17 degrees. But anything, if you have any planets around 16, basically like from 13 to about 20 degrees of Aries or Libra, you will be feeling it a lot, or any of the cardinal signs, really, because if you're either Cancer or Capricorn, it will be squaring. So look at the cardinal signs and those signs I just mentioned, anything around 17 degrees, you will feel this full moon even more. So, Aries full moon. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. It's first out of the gate. So when we have this full moon, it definitely has even more of an amplified full moon energy. They always say that the emergency rooms are more packed at the full moon. And so I can imagine if they were to look even deeper astrologically, I would imagine the Aries full moon is even more so. And perhaps the Scorpio one as well, which next month on November 8th, that Scorpio full moon is also going to be an eclipse. Very challenging aspects to that one. We will talk about that when we get closer to it, or I will be talking about it moving up to it. But this full moon, I feel like really kicks off the intensity that is just going to gradually be building until November 8th, which happens to be election day as well, with a lot of challenging aspects to that eclipse. So really, full moons are shining a spotlight on a certain area of life. And I will go through each of the signs so you know what area of life it could potentially be shining a spotlight on for you. Also, full moons are, the moon is as big as it's going to be in the sky. So we must look at our lives and say, what do we need to release? What do we need to let go of? Because our plate may be a bit too full. That's why if we have too much going on in our lives around the full moon, we can start to feel a bit anxious or overwhelmed. So this is a good time to already start clearing things off of your plate. Clear things out of your closet. Get rid of what is no longer serving you. The Aries full moon will give you the energy to just plow through it. It's not going to be like a Pisces full moon where you're going through and you'll be like, oh, but this person gave me this and I love this. And what if I want, you're not going to go through and read everything, every card anyone ever gave you, like maybe you would on a Cancer or a Pisces full moon. Aries full moon, wonderful time to declutter. Just go through and get rid of it. I'm telling you, as we get into these eclipses, they remove things from our life if we haven't already done it. And so this is our opportunity to prepare. Say, okay, that way when this energy comes in and it's going to keep intensifying, we will be ready for it. It was 2 years ago on the Aries full moon that I got into a pretty massive car wreck. So I remember talking about that one and how intense it was going to be. And I felt that for myself. So slow down if you're driving, slow down with everything that you're doing. Energy is starting to speed up. We must slow down so that we can create a sense of balance in our lives. We also, with this full moon, have a grand air trine. That means planets in the air signs are harmoniously talking to each other. But we have so much in air, we can be really in our heads and not watch where we're walking. We can trip and fall, accidents. I have 2 grand air trines in my natal chart, and I've had over 15 concussions in my life. I have 0 earth, which doesn't surprise many of you that know me well, but it's also why I can easily channel the information in. So we will have this ability around basically most of the month of October. But we must also ground our energy, get your feet directly in the soil, get your hands in the soil, get your feet on the sand, feel the earth beneath you, do grounding practices, meditation where you feel roots coming out of your sit bones, where you feel this connection to the earth so that you may remain rooted and at the same time allow the energy to flow through you, because it will. So on this full moon, we also have Pluto stationing direct. So a week ago on the second, sorry, of October, we had Mercury stationed direct. I know for me, the day that Mercury stationed direct, I definitely felt all the Mercury things. I couldn't find my keys for like 15 minutes and was almost late to my daughter's soccer game. And two friends canceled plans with me that day. And it was just all sorts of, I couldn't get any of my electronic devices working properly. Though all Mercury things, especially on the day that it's stationed direct. Now, when Pluto stations direct, it's much slower moving. Well, we will be feeling this the week leading up and the week after. And I didn't realize this until I heard Anne Ortley, who's an amazing astrologer. I highly recommend her weekly weather. She was talking about how historically many wars have been started when Pluto has stationed, when it's in its stationary point to go direct. So I did not check this to validate historically. However, she's a very well-respected astrologer, so I want to give her credit, and I'm just passing on information that I heard from her, which I found really interesting. And I don't tell you this to produce fear. It is really, it's that energy of being forewarned is forearmed. What do you need to get into play? It may not be on the world stage. It very well could be. We have so much going on in the world. So be prepared. If we were to go into a war situation, are you prepared? Do you have food in the cabinets? Do you have some extra cash on hand? Things like this. Just being prepared. It's better to be prepared, and you'll just eat that food anyway, ones with long shelf lives. So there may be more in your life. I know I'm feeling this in my life. Wow, there's so much going on in my life. I'm not going to talk about my personal stuff, but it is intense, and it's going to continue to be intense. And what I've been telling myself with the things that I'm going through is I've just surrendered to the fact that there's going to be an intensity in my life for the next foreseeable future, at least until the end of the year. And there is so much unknown. I have a lot going on right with Uranus. I have my progressed moon right there. So for me, it is very much expect the unexpected, but we can all feel this on some level, because at this full moon, we have the moon conjunct Chiron, merging with Chiron. Chiron is a wounded healer, and it is also sextile Saturn retrograde and opposing the Venus, who is traveling with the sun right now. This shows me that we may continue to see instability in the financial markets. I think we're going to continue to see that all through October and November, especially as we get more toward eclipse season. But this moon conjunct Chiron and sextile Saturn, this is all about, so I was talking about the full moon. What do you need to release? What old wounds do you need to release in order so that you can move forward in your life? So this may start to come up as you're cleaning out your closets, or you're going through your paperwork, or whatever you're doing, cleaning out your garage. And as you're getting rid of these things, it is only natural that at the same time, it is coming up, it is bubbling to the surface, perhaps old wounds that we haven't fully released. So this is a beautiful time to do it. Do some kind of ceremony where maybe you write a letter to somebody that has hurt you or wronged you, and then you burn it and you let it go. That would be a wonderful Aries full moon thing to do. This sextile to Saturn retrograde happening at the same time, as you are releasing the wounds, at the same time, set boundaries. Set boundaries so that you cannot so that people don't walk all over you, so that people are not belittling you or disrespecting you. Really important to speak up for yourself as much as you can in a way that is in response and not reactionary, which is more of that Aries energy. How can you respond in a warrior way with a calm voice and thought out strategy? So this full moon is also opposing Venus, who's traveling with the sun. Obviously, the sun, every time the moon opposes the sun at the same degree, that creates a full moon. We have it every month, every month. So when Venus is there too, we are really, again, because Venus is with the sun in Libra at this full moon, what relationships in our life, romantic friendships or otherwise, do we need to cut out of our life? Are there situations where we feel we are not being valued? And if that's the case, it is time. Cut those cords, let go, and really step back into your power in a loving way. So this full moon is about relationships, transformation, and healing. If you do the clearing work, you will, by the next full moon on November 8th, on Election Day, intense one, you will start to feel as if you can become the phoenix rising out of the ashes. If you don't do the work now, there could be some sudden disruptions and you will eventually rise out of the ashes, but it may be more abrupt and delayed. So do the work, clear out. Okay, let's go through the signs. Aries, and so for all of you, because it's the Aries full moon, this is the full moon that is also shining a light on the intentions you made around the spring equinox or around the Aries full moon, Aries new moon. So it also lines up with each sign, the house placement that is more in relation to the characteristics that are within you anyway. So Aries, this is your first house. This is your full moon. Do the clearing work. Great time for you to do a cleanse, a physical cleanse as well. You may feel you need to look and in your life at everything in your life and decide what needs to go and what can stay. How can you take that heavy backpack off? How can you lay down what you are carrying so that you can, very like a gazelle, glide forward? Taurus, this is happening for you in your second house. Take a good look at all your finances, your possessions. If there are things in your home or in your closet that you don't really make you feel great, get rid of it. Think quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. If you have a ton of things that you're just holding on to, get rid of it. Get rid of that hoarder mentality, which you tend to be more quality over quantity anyway. But if there are clothes in your closet that need repaired and you know you're not going to repair it, or that are stained, just get rid of it. Get rid of it so that everything in your surroundings you feel really, really good about. Gemini, this is happening for you in your third house, shining a light perhaps on your siblings or your neighbors. Also, great time for you to clear out your car. Clear out your car. Make your car your sanctuary. Gemini, you're all about the road trips or hopping in the car and driving here or there. Make your car feel really good. Clean it out. Get it detailed. Do whatever you need to do to feel good about the way that you are transporting and commuting from one place to another. Cancer, this is happening for you in your fourth house. Declutter your entire home. Have conversations with your loved ones. If you've felt wronged, set clear boundaries where you need to at home, and definitely declutter. Leo, this is happening for you in your fifth house. So this is really you looking at It's looking at any creative endeavors, or if you're an entrepreneur, how can you streamline? How can you delegate more? How can you take more off of your plate so that you can focus your energy on being more creative and being the leader you are meant to be? Also, shining a light on your children. So, if your schedule, if you've been over scheduling your children, look at that too. What can you take off your plate? Virgo, this is happening for you in your sixth house. Look at your health routines. Also, for you, this would be a great time to do a cleanse. Look at your day to day routines. What can you take off of your plate so that you make time to cook healthy meals, to make smoothies in the morning, to exercise? Libra, this is your seventh house. Oh my gosh. For you, everything has been about relationship, and this is as well. The relationships that aren't working, cut the cord, let them loose. If there's a possibility of rebuilding and renewing the relationship, put in the work. Maybe it's time to see a therapist. Whatever it is, make your decision. Make your decision to either make it work or let it go. Or if you're single, then it is time for you to release old relationship wounds so that you can open your heart properly and fully to a new relationship, knowing that your heart has been cleared out of old energy. Scorpio, this is happening for you in your eighth house. Go in psychologically, clear out the paradigms, clear out the deep, dark spaces. If you have an attic, if you have a basement, if you have a garage, if you have things that you're hidden or paperwork that's tucked away somewhere, go through all of it. Go into those hidden spaces, go through, shine a light on it, clear it out. Because in 1 month, when it's your full moon, you want to make sure that you've already started doing the work so that you are ready for the intensity that's continuing to build. Cannot emphasize this enough, Scorpio. Get into deep, dark spaces, whether it's basement, garage, anything I just mentioned, or psychologically, so that you can be centered going into this next month. Sagittarius is happening for you in your ninth house. This is for you really looking at your religious and spiritual beliefs. What is still serving you? What isn't? What teachers, spiritual teachers, are you aligned with? Which ones or maybe you've outgrown and it's time to move on from, or groups of people, spiritual groups, looking, shining a light on all of that. Capricorn, this is happening for you in your 10th house. Everything to do with career. What is working? What isn't working? Go through your emails, go through your old files, begin to organize all of it. Declutter, let go, make space for new energy to come in. Aquarius is happening for you in your 11th house. Look at the groups of people you spend time with and look at your friendships. The ones that are not supporting you, the ones that are belittling you, cut the cord. It's time to let them go. Set boundaries with these people so that you can step into the highest version of yourself. And Pisces, last but certainly not least, this is happening for you in your 12th house. Keep a dream journal. Go in also, like Scorpio, to those deep, dark places. Rid out what is no longer serving you. Go through, recall those dreams that you had. Or keep it, like I said, keep a dream journal, but also you may want to retreat this full moon. You're not going to want to spend time near a lot of people. Go in, do the clearing work, tap into some kind of ritual. You're so good at this anyway, Pisces, and clear out. Because it's an Aries full moon, you will feel more motivated to get to go through the paperwork, to go through the closet and clear things out without being so sentimental as you're going through. Clear, 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 declutter, release, let go. Okay, so we made it through all the signs. Hold on tight. This full moon is beautiful. If we do the clearing work and if we acknowledge that we have been hurt in the past, and if we acknowledge that, then we can move forward And as we go into the intensity that's continuing to build, we will have a clearer mind. Stay grounded, stay focused, keep clearing, and just keep doing the work. All right, I'll see you in the next video. If you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, share with anyone you feel could benefit from it.